Hi, Leathur Rokk here. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, I do makeup tutorials, I do cat videos, I talk about the club life, I do a little bit of cannabis culture, I do garden tours, I even show some of my city and other cities I'm in, and I would love to have you subscribe. Now, today is part 2 of makeup tutorial. I did a tutorial of office appropriate work, slightly conservative look, and I showed a transition of how that look can be added to for a nighttime club life look. And that's what I'm wearing right now. I just got back home from a club, and I am going to show you how I did it. I'm going to do slightly different format than I typically do, because I realized that I can't do it the usual way where I take one eye off and show you, because this is supposed to start from, say you got off work and you're having a more conservative look and you're adding to it. I can't really start with the office look because you can see that I have the club makeup on, so I'm actually going to take most of it off. So bear with me while I get out my coconut oil. I'm going to show you how it's done. And you remember Cassie? Cassie, look at Cassie the cat. And Tabby Boy's underneath the bed. You know, he doesn't want to cooperate. But of course, cats don't need makeup. They're beautiful as they are. Too bad we can't be as beautiful as the cats, huh? Okay, let's get started. I got my tissue, got my notes for reference. Not that I should need them, but in this coconut oil that's definitely smells like salad dressing. Okay. Now I've got to find a place to set this down. I'm trying not to get this in my eyes or on my desk or in my iced tea. The show was really great. Did a little dancing afterwards, but I didn't stick around too long after the show was over because the resident DJ decided to play nothing but hip-hop, and that's really not my scene. So I took that as a cue to go home, because anyway, I knew that I had a video for you guys to do. Try not to make a Picasso of my face while I'm doing this. Okay. Some more. For the other side. Some more tissue. I hope you guys don't mind that I don't use music in the background of my videos. I personally find it really distracting, and a lot of times it's hard to hear the audio of a person speaking when there's music in the background, not to mention the fact that everybody cannot agree on what kind of music they like, and it's so much easier just not to mess with it. I would like to think that sets my channel apart from a lot of other channels. I don't have canned music, I don't have hip-hop, which I would not feature anyway. No offense to people who like that genre, it's just really not my cup of tea. And of course I still have a lot of oil on my hands, and I just got it on my makeup palette. That's really a brainy move. I'm also going to take this lipstick off. Because I have to start off with the work makeup. And hopefully not make even more of a mess while I'm doing it. See, since I rarely edit, I don't hide behind any trick photography or anything. What you see is the real deal, and it takes a certain skill to do editing, and I can edit still pictures, but editing video is kind of complicated, and I kind of know how to edit down from one piece of footage, but I really don't know how to splice together bits and pieces from different kinds of footage. I mean, in theory, I kind of know how to, but it's a real pain in the butt. And frankly, I don't need the stress. If I had unlimited cash, I'd pay somebody to do editing. Now, that's not to say that in the future with my channel, I might not get the skills and do editing, but for now, I don't. So again, that's something that sets me apart from probably a lot of other YouTubers. And I hope you don't think I'm lazy or anything, but it really is a pain. And there's a lot of work that still goes into making these videos. You got to do preparation ahead of time. Obviously, they have to be planned. They have to be. You have a diagram, and you have a basic outline, kind of like the script, but you can veer off it. Okay. Man, that's a shame I got oil on that thing. But you know what? Nobody's perfect. Okay, for foundation, I used the Sassy and Chic BB cream. And I only took the part off that was immediately around my eye, so I don't need a lot of it for this. I'm going to put it all over on the eyelids, and I'm also going to put it on, I'm going to put it on also just underneath the eye, because if I don't, there will be kind of some redness and it just won't look right. Now, I'm going to add an additional layer on my eyelids. This is the ELF Complete Coverage Concealer. It has actually 4 shades, and this is the lightest shade. I think there are 3 of these, or maybe only 2, I don't know, but I almost always use the lightest one of the 4. And I'm just going to put this light layer on the eyelid, and this will help the shadows to adhere more, because we're going to start off with the office appropriate, more subtle makeup. Now, subtle, I realize, is in the eyes of the beholder. This is going to be, for me, subtle. Probably for most of you, it won't be. I always like things dramatic and flashy. That's just how I roll. Now, first color we're going to use is going to be the silver in this palette, which is called Flashing. And I'm going to use this kind of like a transition shade. I'm going to apply it starting in the crease, but kind of almost all the way up to the eyebrow. And I'm going to go just a little bit lower than the crease, but pretty much that's where I'm going to confine the color. And it's not going to show up too much, and it's okay. It doesn't have to. Especially, well, depending on your skin color, of course. I'm extremely, extremely, extremely pale, so this should not really show up too much. It should give a little bit of shine, And actually the main purpose of this color is so that the other colors I put on top of it don't stick to this moist surface too much. It allows for better blending. That's, I think, the real purpose of a transition shade. And I'm doing this dry. Oh, and the brush is this ELF? It's either, yes, I think it is an ELF brush. Eyes, Lips, Face. And it was only $1. Good products don't need to be expensive, and you don't need to spend top dollar on them. I sure don't. Okay, you can hardly see it, but it's there. Now, the second color we're going to use, we're going to dip into the blue shade here. In this palette, it's called Polar. And this brush is from Wet n Wild. This is supposed to be a crease brush. It's got a little notch to make it more ergonomic, even though your hand might actually be lower. There's lots of different ways to hold a brush. I'm going to swirl into the pot, and I'm going to lightly brush pretty much over where I already put the silvery shade. And do the other side. See, this is not really too obvious. It's soft and it's shimmery. That's it with that. Now, we're going to use this shade here, this purple. It's called Borealis. Do you see it? I'm going to make sure that it gets in the frame. And I'm going to take a really nice brush. This is from Vivace or Vivace, V-I-V-A-C-E. I got this at the 99-cent store. And I'm just going to swirl it around dry in the palette. And I'm going to put lightly from the crease to the lash line. I'm not going to touch it to the corner though. I'm going to leave the corner kind of blank. And I'm going to wing it out very subtly and no farther than the tail of the eyebrow. And I'm going to do it again on the other side. See, that's why it's important to have a transition shade for this. If I hadn't covered my eyelid with the transition shade, this would show up too dark. And especially if you're talking about something for a corporate job or something, you probably want a more subtle makeup, depending on if your job has a dress code or something. And these things don't generally apply to me, but I'm thinking of my audience. I try to think of what people will want to see, and I try to provide a variety of content because I know all different kinds of people are watching me. And I'm trying to have something for everybody. And that's not easy to do. Okay. And make sure I have the same amount of plain skin in the corner on both eyes. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Now, going to find the mascara, which I dropped on the ground. And I'm really glad that I have some hand sanitizer here, which is mostly alcohol. And since I dropped this on the ground, and since I'm a germaphobe, I'm going to sterilize it with the hand sanitizer. As I really want to keep my floor, well, I can't keep my floor clean, considering that I have a litter box in it. Something I swore I would never do. This mascara I'm using is the CoverGirl Supersizer Fibers in the color black. And even though it has fibers in it, it's not the most dramatic of the mascaras I've tried. It's actually rather subtle. And the applicator is more of a series of combs than it actually is a brush. I'm not doing a ton of coats on this. I'm doing just one or two light coats. This is not a waterproof formula, but because it's not waterproof, it's a lot easier to take off. Sometimes you want a makeup that doesn't need to last forever, or that's easier to take off. You know, you're tired at night and you just want to wash your face, jump in the shower, and crawl into bed. Sometimes a waterproof eyeliner or mascara can add an additional up to 5 minutes to take off, and sometimes you just aren't in the mood for that. Now, I'm not, with this office version, I'm not doing an eyeliner, and I'm not doing it too heavy on the lower lash line, because you know how when you're doing mascara on the lower lash line, it's really easy to smudge it. I'm going to try to avoid that. Oh, right. Now, you know what? It occurred to me, since I'm doing the office version, I should take off some more of what I have going on the cheek area, because we're kind of starting over here. Okay. You know what? I'm going to add a little bit more of this BB cream, because I'm sure I rubbed some of my foundation off and it's looking a little red, which isn't actually even my natural skin color. The redness can happen just from rubbing your skin roughly. Okay, now for my cheek color for this, because it's supposed to be office friendly, I'm using the B&H Cosmetics Special Occasion Eyeshadow and Blush Palette, and I'm using a very muted shade here, this middle shade here. It's like a peachy color, it's matte. I think almost all of the blushes here are matte except for one bronzer. And I'm taking a little brush like this. This is also from Vivace or Vivace. Can you see the lettering on it? Well, there's too much glow, you can't see the lettering. But I'm only carrying the color up like this. I didn't do a contour with this. I wanted to keep it simple and kind of subtle. I know subtle is not me, but it's no reason why I can't demonstrate something that's more subtle, because I know some people like that. I didn't use a highlighter because if you're going to the office, I'm imagining you don't want floodlights of glitter shining on your face. This is the lipstick I use. This is from B&H Cosmetics. It is called the, oh, I should have saved the box here, Color Lock. Of course, the sticker is so small, it's really hard. Oh, yes, Color Lock. And it has, look at the packaging, look at the cap on it. Isn't that pretty? Well, this color, this purple color, is called Passionate. And this is a longer lasting lip color. You could put it on. Now, it does not mean it doesn't transfer. It will still get on your coffee cup. It'll still get on your food. But it's a nice matte color. and it is kind of long lasting. Matter of fact, if I really wanted to do a more thorough job of removing it, it's best to use an oil. What do you think? Okay, now this is the work version. Okay, say you went to work, did your time, and you're ready to go out dancing or go out to dinner, or maybe you got concert tickets and you want to kick it up a notch. Here's how you do it without washing your face and starting over. Now, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go back into the Aurora Lights palette. I'm still using the same palette that I used for the office makeup. I'm going to go back into the Polar, this lighter blue, same brush. I'm using the same brushes. I'm getting a good coating on this. Really good coating because it's dry, and this is almost a see-through shade. I'm going to get it right in the corners, and I'm going to circle around because this time I want it to be visible. And do it again. And then I'm going to go bring it to the crease a little bit. I'm only going between a third and no more than half the length of the eye. Again on the other eye. Now, we're going to take this fuchsia kind of purple shade here. It's called Vibrant, and it is vibrant. And this is such a gorgeous color. And I'm going to take another, this is an e.l.f. brush. It's bigger than a C brush. This is a kind of brush that will both deposit and blend color. Going to get a nice coating on this, and I'm going to put it kind of, you know where your iris is? A little bit bigger than that. And it's only on the lid. And I'm choosing an area that is kind of like your iris, but with some overhang on either side. And if it's not dark enough, do another coat. Okay. Now's where it gets fun. I'm going to use the same brush that I used before. I'm going to hit it in the Borealis, which is the dark purple here. But now I'm going to wet the brush. And I put the water in one of these flat Chinese spoons. These are also the same kind of spoons that they use in fancy parties and clubs where they pass hors d'oeuvres around. And they're very useful. I use them as soup spoons. I like to use them for water for my makeup. These eyeshadows are really great because they're wet dry, and if you wet them, they're much more intense. It brings up the shine and it makes them more opaque, and this is what we want. Dipping into the Borealis, it's okay if you actually get the water on the solid shadow. It's not going to hurt it. Now I'm going to go on the outer wing, and I'm going to intensify that. Now I could see that it's not wet enough, so I'm going to wet it again, back to the shadow. And when it looks wet on the shadow pan, you know you're ready. And if it's wet enough, you should actually feel moistness on your skin. And I'm going to take it as far as the eyebrow goes in a skinny triangle. Wet it again a little bit, put it back in the purple, and you do the other side. I'm just basically going over the area that I had for the work makeup, but it's much more vibrant, much more intense. And try to keep that triangle kind of skinny so that some of this triangle is the wet, opaque color, and some of it is a sheer version of this color. See? Isn't this a lot more obvious than the work version? But we're not done yet. For the nightclub version, we're going to do the eyeliner. Now let me see if I dropped the eyeliner. Yes, I did. Okay. Since I dropped it on my floor, I'm going to put the hand sanitizer all around it. Anything that touches my floor gets washed or sterilized. Now, I really like this eyeliner. Let me tell you about it. It's the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour lacquer liner. It's probably my favorite of my current eyeliners. This is truly waterproof. It does not budge. It does not smudge. Once you apply it, you let it dry, and it doesn't move. If you have very watery eyes like I do, it stays put. If you go out dancing and it's a sweaty hot dance floor, it stays put. That's what we want. If you notice, I came home and I went straight to video. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I didn't intensify it a little bit before I went on camera, because I did. But this eyeliner really stays put. And this, okay, first I'm going to do the upper lash line. Thin line, just along. Now I see that there's not enough on here, so get back into the brush, wipe off on both sides. See, I had makeup in front of the exhaust thing on the computer. That's never a good idea. Always got to keep your air vents clear. Doing a thin line above the lash line. I'm going to wing it out just a little bit. That won't be too obvious because the purple is so dark. Do it again for the second eye. With this eyeliner, you want to make sure that it doesn't color over the blue that's in the corner. You just want to make sure that you have some of that glow. Now it's time for the lower lash line. And I love the little brush that this comes with. I will definitely be repurchasing this eyeliner. You know what? I want to go over that again. Okay. Put the lid on it. It's really important to put the lid tightly on gel eyeliners so they don't dry out. But I'm very happy with this. It's a little bit more expensive than I would have liked to pay. It was like, I don't know, close to $10 or maybe close to $9 or something. And I try to pay as little as possible for my products. That's just how I roll. I'm not ashamed of that. Okay, what's next? Oh, more mascara. Because we're going out to a club, we can put more mascara on. And you're never going to overdo it with this brand. And it's not going to clump on you because instead of having bristles, there are basically 4 combs. and it gets really close to the roots of your lashes, which is important if your lashes are naturally see-through like mine. I don't go too heavy on my lower mascara for the simple reason that it's very hard to prevent smudging if you have any kind of moistness with your concealer or your foundation under your eyes, or if you got heavy eye creams. Mascara can raccoon on you very easily, at least it does on me. So the best way to prevent that is not to do your mascara too heavy on your lower lash line. Or it also helps if you give your mascara time to dry before you start blinking, but sometimes that's easier said than done. Now we're going to put the blusher on, and I'm going to go back into the Special Occasion palette, and instead of using that natural looking shade here, actually to duplicate the other look, here's what I have to do. I have to go back to the original pale color that I used for work. That goes here and here, how I originally did it. Then with this brush, I'm going to take the brighter shade, which is this one. Is this the one I use? I think so. And I'm going to just like this, like this. I didn't use contouring with this. I usually do, but it depends. It's really not something you have to do. And since we're going to the club, I am using a highlighter. And for my highlight, I'm using my B&H Cosmetics Black Light Highlight Palette. And for this, I'm using the Absolutely Frosty White one. And this color has a name. The name of this is Strobe. And first thing I'm going to do is my nose. I'm going to do my Cupid's bow a little bit. I'm actually going to do a line over because I'm going to add another lipstick to this. Do some of the chin and hit the top of the cheekbones where light would normally hit it. I love this highlighter. A little bit here, a little bit here. Oh, I hope I didn't drop the lipstick. Okay, where is it? Ooh, police are after somebody outside. You should have seen it earlier. There were 5 cop cars out there. They had a bunch of canine dogs barking away. I think they were doing a drug bust or something. Let me put the lid on this coconut oil so I don't spill it. The last thing I need. Right, Tabby boy? Okay, where's that lipstick? Dadgummit. Bear with me. The whole point of this is transitioning from day to night, and I wanted to use that lipstick that's almost black. I think I dropped it on the floor also. Ay, 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 ay. Yeah, that kind of ticks me off. You know what? I probably shouldn't do this, but since I'm looking for a black lipstick, I'm just going to stick my finger into this eyeliner, and I'm going to put it on my mouth because I can. That's a great thing about makeup. You can play with it. I bet you didn't know you could use gel eyeliner, this black lipstick. Okay, now I'll wipe this off. Oh, this will do. Oh, what do you think of the earrings? I got them at a 99-cent store in Chinatown in New York City. Had to be, 2012, I think. Okay, I'm going to take my hair down for the full effect. Now, this is your nighttime look, and that is how you transition your makeup from daytime, office appropriate. Just darken it up a little. You can use the same palette, and you can get a night look. Okay, if you like this video, I'd love to have you give it a thumbs up. If you like me and my content, why don't you subscribe? When you do subscribe, hit the bell notification and you won't miss anything. I post content Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for your viewing pleasure. And if I don't have any unforeseen tech issues, because I am going to Best Buy after I'm going to bed after I take a shower, after I'm done this, then I'm going to Best Buy and I'm having them take a look at this computer. So I am going to post the office makeup video tomorrow, which is Saturday, and I'm going to post the nightclub version on Tuesday, and you'll see it. Stay tuned. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.